Hey, what's going on, crypto people? It is your boy, the Crypto Siege, with another day in the life, in the crazy life that is the digital asset space. What's going on, guys? Happy, what is this, Saturday? Friday, Saturday. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone is doing well and outstanding. First, let me say, Привет, Mom. Как дела? How are you guys doing? Everyone good? It's Friday night. Let me just make sure this thing is working right. Crypto Insomniac is in the building. Good evening, my friend. What's up, XRP Rocket Man? How are you? So crazy times going on in the digital asset space, boy. I tell you what in the wide world, what in the wide world is going on in this joint? D-Mac is in the building. Happy Saturday from Philly, brother. Happy Saturday to you, my dude. Appreciate you being here. Monterey is in the building. Hello, what's up with you? Coin Link. Samniak is in the building. Good evening to you, my friend. Shout out to XRP Rocket Man. J Kill 215, hi from Philly, on my way to work. Oh, what's good? What's good, dude? How you doing? My friend, I appreciate you being here. Coin League. How about that one? How about that? The shovel and pick. How about that? I hear you. I hear you. I remember that phrase, Coin Link, back in my, what is it? What do I want to say? When I was getting the marijuana stocks. Yeah, I remember that when I was doing the marijuana stock thing. It's all good, crypto inside that. Trust me, it is all good. Morris Prince C7 is in the building. What's good, dude? Hey, bro. Hey, fam. Brian Benton is in the building. Evening, morning, afternoon, worldwide crypto maniacs. XRP Joe. Good day, beautiful people of the XRP community. Good day to you, XRP Joe. Win Mullet, what's up, bro? Hey, Siege and XR Peeps. XRP Peeps, how are you? Yeah, I am having an awesome day, bro. Thank you, XRP Joe. Life is good. Blue Siege Truth is in the building. What's up? What's up? What's up, Mr. Siege? How you doing, Blue Siege Truth? Good to see you in the stream. Crypto Don Juan is in the building. Glad to see you hanging out, my friend. Good to see you here, man. Yeah, so I got that quote from someone in the Telegram chat. Sort of like that. They were talking about the gold mine, the gold type of deal. Ripple's the gold miner, and XRP is the gold. I was trying to find out who it was in the chat who said it. I don't know if it was RDL Brooklyn or if it was this new person new to me anyway, that I've been seeing with some really, really good stuff. GG_1 million. It's GG_1 million with some really good stuff. But I don't know which one it was, but shout out to the people in that Telegram chat. Amazing stuff. So, guys, here's the deal, right? The deal, listen, I mean, we could talk about the IPO and it's going to IPO or not, but I think is maybe we missed a little bit, right? We missed on the whole maybe we missed on the STO. Perhaps that's the thing that we're missing. Perhaps that's the move that Ripple is really looking to make. I said on the stream, I don't know how many streams ago, I said, do not sleep on Dharma and do not sleep on Securitize, right? And then here's the other thing that we have to consider as well, is that Mr. Yoshitaka Katao is heavily vested, extremely excited about STOs. And so perhaps that is something that Ripple is looking to do. And the more and more I'm hearing from Susie's like, look, Ripple, when they decide to do the IPO, they're pretty much in the driver's seat in terms of saying this is how we're going to do it, and this is how we're going to do it, and in terms of XRP, how they're going to do what they're going to do, if and when it's going to benefit the hodlers, whatever. So, I gotta take it from her background and see that's it, and rely on her. She's like, Ripple can pretty much do what they want to do. It's their IPO. So, but in any case, guys, I know a lot of crazy stuff going on Twitter. But But I think we've gotten to the point that most of the people are understanding that it's just a real positive thing. It is a real positive thing for XRP hodlers. Gary Brown's in the building. Hello, Mr. Siege. Hope you're having a good weekend. I am having a great weekend, my friend. Had a great time this morning and this afternoon hanging out with Miss Crypto Siege. So it was really, really cool. And I finally got a chance here to kind of do a little bit of research, kind of decide what I wanted to do tonight and get a chance to come hang out with you guys. So I hope you're having a great weekend as well, Gary Brown. XRP Lava is in the building. How are you? Crawfish XRP is in the house. Good to see you, Crawfish. So maybe we're missing it. FLE XRP version 3. Feed me some great info, please, and thanks. I got you, my friend. I got you. Yeah, so that's the thing. Maybe we're sleeping on it. Maybe it's the whole STO thing. Yep. Watch a little bit of the Bob Way interview on CKJ's channel, and some very, very interesting things for me were like an hour and plus into it, but like the second hour in like 10 minutes, second hour, 8 minutes. Some pretty interesting stuff. Some pretty interesting stuff, without question. I don't even know where to start this stream. Where should I start? What's the prices? Let's see what's going on in the just going to go check out Binance real quick, see what the prices are. Someone said something about the algo that they were playing with. It was saying BTC was about to do its thing. But we've heard that before, have we not? So Bitcoin is at $8,338, and XRP is at 22 cents. VeChain is still less than a penny, I believe. On Binance it says 1 cent, but I believe it's still less than a penny without question. Yeah, I know, man, Brian. Scary. It's very, very scary, that coronavirus. Very, very scary, man. Legendary's in the building. Good to see you here, Legendary. I'm excited for the IPO. Time for anything to happen. Yeah, I hear that. So I'm listening to Blockchain Backer the other day, and he's going to cover the IPO thing as well. I don't know if it was this latest video, but I think that it was. And he said something that I thought was kind of very, very interesting. Because I think most people have been thinking the other way around, right? Most people are thinking that the IPO and then the raise in value or price of XRP, right? And he said something I thought was kind of interesting, right? He said, in order for Ripple to be IPO, they're going to need the price of XRP to be higher, because that's one of their greatest assets that they hold on the books. It makes the value of the company even higher. And I thought, look, a $10 billion valuation, that's a pretty high valuation. And it feels as though he's saying that part of that evaluation is because of the XRP that they currently hold. Well, how much do they actually currently hold? It's not 50 billion, right? I mean, that's escrow kind of whatever out, right? Ultimately, when the pre-allocation takes place, I think most of us are pretty certain that that's been all pre-allocated. So we got to think, once that kind of gets out and everyone knows, okay, it's, out of that 50 billion, Ripple, the company, owns somewhere between 6 and 8 billion. It's an interesting point. He said Ripple is going to want to IPO when the price of XRP is higher, because that makes the value of them as a company that significantly better, right? I mean, at 10 billion, does it matter, or is that a good point? At a 10 billion valuation, does it matter, or is that still an important point to make? I think it's still an important point to make. Because, when the professional market makers or whoever did the valuation on the company, they probably didn't do it on the billions of XRP and escrow, right? Buy the gold from the miner at wholesale. XRP Lava said, absolutely, I hear you. Crypto and Simon says, agree and hope, LOL. TJ Jackson's in the building. Hey, TJ, what's going on, my dude? Savan Thou, the FUD is strong. Yeah, so that's the thing, too. And what Bob Way said, I don't know, what is this, 9, 10, 11 months ago, whatever it was, on CKJ's, when he was being interviewed on CKJ's channel. It's like the thing that's most important is we got to kill this FUD and taking things out of, making something bigger than what it is. And, for people to get on Twitter who are XRP hodlers and suggest that Ripple would do something to harm the XRP hodlers, it just doesn't make sense. Everything that Ripple, the company, does, I believe, and we may not be at the top, but it is certainly, we in the community are being considered. Why? Not why because we're XRP community. No, it's because the people at Ripple, their greatest asset is XRP. Not because it's you or I in your community and we're strong, we got this voice. I mean, don't get me wrong. They do watch some of the things and what we do. And Bob Way even said it on the interview with CKJ. He said half of his value is in XRP and half of it is in Ripple. As an employee, that's how it was, right? And so he leveraged the stock options as well. And so again, it's Ripple, the company, and its employees. XRP is a big part of their future, and what we all want XRP to be high. So what we're not going to do, and that's the thing I think is so important. They want XRP to be high. They're not going to do anything, IPO, STO, whatever, that is going to cause a harm in XRP. They need it to be high. The powers that be, central banks, governments, IMF, they all need it to be high. So they're not going to be making any moves that's not going to support XRP. I think you just have to take that in. Take a second or two to really, really understand that. Brian Schrader's in the building. Thanks for the $10 super chat, Brian. Appreciate you being here, my dude. Siege from your mods, Win Mullet, TJ Jackson, Staff Sergeant, and me. Oh, I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate my mods without question. You guys always do an awesome job. XRP Joe says, collapse that chat and hit those thumbs up, guys. Smash the thumbs, then come back and get more chat. That's exactly right. Appreciate that, XRP Joe. That's the thing that I have to think we have to remember. Steve OD XRP is in the building. How you doing, my dude? Brother, how's it going? It's good, man. Life is good. I'm blessed. We are all blessed, as I like to say. Staff Sergeant of Marines is in the building. What's going on, Staff Sergeant? And see, that's the thing that we have to. I don't know why, but we sometimes like we forget that part. And I don't understand how that is or why that is. Why we want to forget that. But I thought it was very what I want to say. I missed it when he just kind of subtly said, Bob Way. He just kind of put it out there. Half my value is in XRP, and half the other value is in stock at Ripple, and they're kind of intermingled. So if he, if it's that way for him, he was like employee number 10. What do you think it was for employee number 20, and employee number 30, and employee number 50, and employee number 75, and employee number 100? Right? We all want XRP to win. You know what I mean? I'm going to pull this up on YouTube. Because I think that's so important to understand. Staff Sergeant Marie says, Siege, remember this. When the FUD is loudest, 2017, the boom came around. I'm concerned when everyone is bullish. I hear you. I hear that, Staff Sergeant. I'm waiting for this thing to do its thing. Look, no matter what, the halvening is still going to take place in May, right? No matter what, Bitcoin's going to kind of do its thing just prior to that, sometime in April. no matter what, the traditional digital asset space is going to do the bull market thing. I mean, the bull run thing. That's inevitable. That is going to happen. But check, I mean, how many guys heard blockchain backers say that? I thought that was really significant because the way he worded it was, Ripple is going to, IPO when the value of XRP is higher, because that makes the value of the company that much more. And I think what a lot of people is thinking, Ripple the IPO and then XRP is going to do this and this and this, all is. And that makes a lot of sense what blockchain backers said. Makes a lot of sense. Remember, they said they weren't going to be first, but they weren't going to be last. But they said they weren't going to be first. Important thing to note. Blockchain backers got some excellent. He's got some very interesting and excellent TA, but he's got some sell points, right? He's got some price points that are right, $13, $26. He said $50-something per XRP. If you guys haven't checked out Blockchain Backer, go check them out on YouTube. Check them out, feel them out, see if it makes sense to you. Brian Benton says XRP is inventory. The more valuable it is, the more liquidity. Yeah, and in the end, we can never ever forget that they need the price of XRP to be high. We can never ever forget that. You know what I mean? Ever. Steve-O DXRP says, so he's got some good points. I like him. Cool. Yeah, he really does. I just thought it was interesting. The way he worded it was like, they may IPO, but they're going to want the XRP price to be higher, right? Before they do it. I thought it was an interesting point. And so if that's the case, why mention that now? Why mention that now? Right? Let me see if I can't find this Bob White thing. Very, very interesting the way he put that. Yeah, when Mama said BCP is good, like his info. Yeah. M1 Geronimo, what's going on, M1 Geronimo? Thanks for the great information. Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate that. The thunder sound is in the building. They got it backwards. XRP is inventory. I read that already. XRP Joe. I hear that, man. Sam Sargent's like, I'll never sell my XRP for some Ripple stock. And again, I'm feeling like, I don't know, what do you guys think? But I'm really feeling like it's going to be the STO. I'm feeling like it's going to be the STO that's going to be the real thing for us. I really do. I think the security token offering is going to be really the thing. Did I miss Robert Westberg? Did Robert sneak it in on me? Staff Sergeant, or were you quoting him from another time? You're probably quoting him from another time. Robert didn't sneak in on me, right? You're quoting him from another time. Let me see what you said. Siege, Staff Sergeant Marine says, Siege, I think Robert Westberg is correct. I can now see how XRP can moon to, that's thousands? Did you say that's thousands? I can now see how XRP can moon to 3,000 to 4,000 easy. Oh, wow. Did Robert Westberg say that? 3,000 to 4,000 easy. Okay. I didn't remember that high of amount. I remember 4 figures. All right, Steve-O DXRP, get some sleep, my friend. He says, you the man, brother. I got a dart. It's 2 a.m. here. Night all. Yeah, bro. Good night, brother. Get some good sleep, my friend. 1-1 is like, I would rather own the gold mine. I hear you, my friend. I hear that. Brian says, I will buy Ripple stock when moon. I hear you, bro. Staff Sergeant Marine says, Siege, correct. Okay. Rasheen B. Wealthy. What's going on, my dude? Good to see you in the stream. Okay, Steve, Siege, correct. Okay. Oh, I got you. I hear you, Staff Sergeant. Yeah, I tell you, man. I tell you. Because I remember when I talked with him, smart guy, he was like overnight. You know, it wouldn't surprise him at all. 4 figures overnight wouldn't surprise him at all. Wouldn't surprise him at all. I remember when I talked with him on the phone, I was like, what? Steve O.D. Knight, all right. You know what I mean? So let me play this. Some interesting things that I wrote some of them down. One of the things, by the way, that Bob Way said, you know, this is mum's back, is we are here to avoid FUD. And the perception and utility and all these different things are so important. Again, you know, remember the whole thing with bringing the YouTube content creators out to swell and inviting them out? Like, what was the whole reason behind that? Remember that? Remember that?
Rise of Kingdoms is a real-time strategy game that you can play.
STOs. What's up with security token offerings?
Like Mark.
Man, you can't do anything on Chrome, man. Them ads. Holy cow. Remember that? Trying to figure out the whole reasoning. Remember that? Oh, I can't do history on this one, huh? Let's see. And I'm telling you, that interview was really, really good because he said a lot of things that were really making a lot of sense today. You know? Making a lot of sense today. But anyway, guys, so I'm going to have to go to Chrome, unfortunately. That's going to really suck. It'll be like an ad playing every 5 minutes. Let me go to minute 2 hours and
then there was this crazy disruptive idea that which was the premise of this podcast.
So, I mean, so what do you guys think? Security token offering an STO would be really, really good. Guess what I saw when I was watching that video interview with Bob Way on CKJ's channel? Guess what I saw in the chat? Now, again, this was what, 9, 10, 11 months ago? I saw Mickey B. Fresh saying, he commented in there, I think when Ripple IPO is not going to be an IPO, it's going to be an STO. That was back then, Mickey B. Fresh. Back then, he commented on that, right? And I said on the other stream the other day that, you know, we don't know how it's going to go. They could IPO CTO, STO, right? And it would make it would be of greater value for us if they could do that STO, perhaps on Sologenic. And now we get access. We get access to that as well. We get access to that as well. So imagine having XRP and a security token offering for Ripple as well. How cool would that be? Yeah, and that's a good point too, Staff Sergeant Marines. You know, that's a very, very good point. And I don't know where he's coming from. I don't know, but that's a good point. You know, that's a good point. You know, I mean, there's a reason why the replay of Bob Way came out today too, right? What is it, last night? There's a reason for that as well, right? So, you know, I'm a content creator. He's a content creator. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of, you know, exactly, he is. You know, and so that could easily be part of it. I don't know. It feels like to me that as smart as he is, to think that the IPO is a bad thing is just, it doesn't fit with all the deep dives and the information he finds and all the great content he puts out. It doesn't fit, right? It doesn't fit his, you know, his normal, you know, the stuff that he does is a lot of smart stuff. It doesn't fit to not get that IPO and the value that it could bring to XRP hodlers. Like, it doesn't fit to me. Like, it doesn't fit. Like, I don't know. And even Susie from Esoteric Trading Solutions on Twitter came at Sam a little bit, and what's his name? What's her name? Crypto Eddie as well. And they didn't attack or anything. Again, they were just kind of giving their side of things and their opinions and how it is a good thing, right? And so that's exactly right, Eli. Sam I Am is just a man with his opinion. That's exactly right. You know, that's exactly right. I think it's interesting that Bob Way, back 10 months ago, 11 months ago, whatever it is saying one of the things that was so important was for us to do our part and to make sure that that FUD stuff was not there, because he called it perception utility. Now, I think we may be past that. But we only may be past that with banks and FIs. Not perhaps with the mainstream media, not mainstream, but the masses that might be just looking in, right? They haven't gotten into the digital asset space. You know, very, very similar to how people get on different YouTube channels and they're listening in, but they're not commenting. You know, maybe the argument for what Bob Way was saying about it's important for us to get rid of this FUD, and one of the best way to do it is to educate people. We don't want FUD in the space because it affects the perception utility. Did you guys catch that on that stream? You know, it affects the perception utility. And so here's the thing. That's part of the ways. That's called a lurker. As part of the way utility, according to Bob Way, is derived, and which ultimately leads to price for XRP. Perception utility, he called it, right? And maybe it obviously, and maybe it doesn't. Well, look, what's the word I want? Look, the decision for XRP is the greatest digital asset ever made. You know, the judgment for if you will, on its value has already been determined by banks and FIs. Just ask Bank of America, right? Just ask MoneyGram. That book is closed. Like they like, this is it. But this is it, right? But for people looking in, the masses who are looking in, and then they're on Twitter, they're not necessarily in digital assets yet. They're wondering if it's a good thing. They're kind of doing things on their own, trying to figure it out. That's the people he's talking about. You know, that's part of the people I should say he's talking about. I think that, and then it doesn't help the people that are in, but they're not in on XRP yet. They're in the digital asset space, but they're still listening to the Tone Vays of the world. That's the challenge. That's the challenge of the FUD from XRP hodlers. That's the challenge from FUD from XRP hodlers. It's not reality. You can't say, oh, that's reality. It's not reality. But that's the FUD, you know, that we're talking about. People in the digital asset space not necessarily holding on to XRP, and people on the outside that are kind of looking in whether or not they want to even get into this space. They might not even get into the space because of this and that and the this and the that and the back and the forth. You know, you understand what I'm saying? But I thought it's very, very interesting to go back and watch that interview and realize that Bob Way talked about the challenge with FUD in the community, in the space. You know, I thought that was very, very interesting. Got 82 people in the stream, 44 likes, guys. If you haven't had a chance to smash that like on the way in, just collapse that chat real quick. Go smash the like if you're enjoying the content, enjoying the conversation in the chat, and then come back and hang out. What do I miss coming in? Matt Bombensauer's in the building. What's going on, Matt? How are you, bro? Perfect, stable, Sharpie genius is in the building. How about that? Good to see you here, my friend. Make sure I miss anyone coming in. Guys are sneaking in on me. Yeah, I mean, in the end, and Brian, you probably have heard me say this before on the channel or not. Like in the end, the second, like whether you like it or not, the second you decide to be a content creator, right? So the second you decide to start a YouTube channel or anything like that, you become to a certain degree, an influencer, and it's important. And what comes a level of responsibility, however that looks like, right? I always say you become a marketer, right? And the message that you put out the message, right? And you can't blame someone else if they take it a different way, right? Because if we just kept blaming people who take our message the wrong way, we don't figure out better ways to communicate our message, right? So yeah, it's a measure of it being an influencer, without question. Yes, he's smart, but he doesn't know it. Like, without question, he doesn't. And he's absolutely 100% entitled to his opinion. I just think, the FUD, the challenge in the FUD, right? And again, who knows ultimately what that is, right? I don't know. Is that ultimately a clickbait thing? I don't know. I think ultimately it's not a good thing for the community. The differences of opinions is one thing. The difference in opinion is one thing, but FUD's another thing. Don't you think? Staff Sergeant of the Marine, Siege. I'm 100% convinced that February we could see the hammer drop. Wow, Black Swan event. USA and China sign a trade deal, and in a week later, there's 35 million people in martial law. XRP boom is soon, folks. How about that? How about that? That's some good stuff right there, Staff Sergeant. I'm real good, Matt Bombensauer. It's good to see you in the stream, bro. But don't sleep on the STO, because the STO, guys, is a good thing for us. XSLP hodler security tokens, right? On Sologenic, we'd be able to go get some. Yeah, I just got an email from Sologenic too, man. They get ready to do their IEO, and we can't participate, but they're going to do the IEO for those of you not in the United States. It's interesting that they're adding Tron. I was curious. I was caught by surprise that they're actually going to add Tron. I was very surprised by that. Very surprised. Absolutely, Eli. Brad said himself they want Ripple to get further away from XRP eventually. That means XRP is successful and flourishing and in the hands of the big banks and FI's hands. Yeah. XRP is going to do its thing. They're going to separate without question. But I love what BC Blockchain Backer said. Ripple's going to IPO when the price of XRP is higher, because that adds to their balance. It makes them look better as a company. And it just makes 100% sense. That's right, Windmullet. I think Brad Garlinghouse is a smart man with a very smart team. I have faith. Absolutely. So what did I want? I don't even know where I should start. I had so much stuff today, man. How about let's start with something that just, did we forget this news? Don't sleep on the STO, guys. I guess that's my message, right? Don't sleep on the STOs, right? Don't sleep on that. It's a possibility. And I'm gonna share some stuff from Susie, but she said it quite frankly. She said it. She said it. Like Ripple can do pretty much what they want to do in terms of that. Uh, 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 don't worry about it, Windmill. I appreciate you doing your thing, brother. Don't worry about it at all. I know the mods got it. She said that they could do anything that they want in terms of this IPO, but let me show you this. So Ripple's on-demand liquidity services grew sixfold last quarter. Now, I didn't even go to Ripple Insights. I just saw this because it was in the Patreon. But sales to exchanges are on the decline. And that's an intentional thing. We all know that. Ripple Insights has published its quarterly markets report, which reveals that the company and its XRP token experienced mixed growth in 2019. Ripple's on-demand liquidity services, which facilitates cross-border settlements, saw noticeable growth. These services handled 550% more value in quarter 4 of 2019 than they did in quarter 3. In raw transactions, those services saw a 290% increase in activity. This growth is reportedly due to greater adoption. In less than a year, over 24 financial companies signed on for ODL in less than a year, including Buy Americas, Flash FX, and Interbank Peru. Ripple's most notable client may be MoneyGram, which began to use Ripple's services last August. This partnership has been particularly successful in Mexico, a market where MoneyGram is moving 10% of its volume through ODL. Despite growing demand for ODL, Ripple sold relatively little XRP token in quarter 4. Though this was particularly due to a change in its measurements, Ripple also cut back its sales delivery in order to act as disciplined, responsible stakeholders. And that is a quote. The company paused programmatic sales entirely in quarter 4, causing sales in that category to fall to 0. How about that? That's important. Oh, did I miss a super chat? XRP Lava, thanks for the $2 super chat, my friend. How will IPO affect Ripple possibly being a bank? Possibly being a bank. If the IPO, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I don't think it would affect them. I think, and I heard Susie say that Ripple, could get a banking license. And I think that you can have a license and you can act a particular way, right, with a license. You don't have to necessarily, quote unquote, become a bank, but you can maneuver like one. But I don't think that the IPO would affect it, right, because there's private banks and there's public banks. So I don't think it would affect it in any way. But that's just based on my knowledge. But I don't know the definitive answer on that. But my opinion, it wouldn't affect it at all, XRP Lava. And again, thanks for the $2 super chat. Right, so that's the thing to really kind of note and point out. Let me see. I had some bookmark stuff. Let me see what I had there. I want to share with you guys also. Oh man, what the world? I don't know why I did that. Siege. Staff Sergeant Marine says, Siege, what are the odds the Ripple stock drops in price after its IPO? Pretty good. Pretty high, in fact. I think that's pretty much standard protocol, Staff Sergeant Marines. Which would, again, if they just did a regular IPO, then that would lead to us being able to get it at a better price. But I think that's a pretty standard thing. Hodor's blog. Scenario: Ripple goes public. Investors that enter the crypto market would inevitably discover that it's necessary for them to determine on their own what the future may bring, given different circumstances, risk, and contingency. None of us were given a pamphlet on what to expect. None of us know how the market will behave, and most of us are not benefiting from inside information about market gyrations. But we all must imagine the future. None of us would have purchased digital assets if we didn't believe they would rise in value. So at a minimum, each of us has gone through the process of imagining the future with respect to digital assets. When it comes to XRP, there are a few different scenarios that may happen. Some are lower probability, while others are higher probability. I'm going to zero in on one scenario for purposes of today's article. Ripple goes public. Okay, what's an IPO? Okay, we don't need that. We know what that is. However, private companies do sometimes go public because of the massive amount of money they receive for these additional shares. This process of raising money through sales is called equity financing, and it's the biggest incentive for private companies to go public, okay? Despite the fact that Ripple raises money from their software revenue and the sales of XRP, both of these are no comparison to the amount of cash that would be raised by the initial public offering for the company, okay? We know that. All right, here's some examples of dollars raised during IPOs. Uber, $8 billion, Facebook, $16 billion, Visa, $18 billion, TradeWeb, $1 billion, Avanta Performance, $4 billion. Where would Ripple end up in terms of money raised? We don't know. In short, Ripple's IPO would be sizable. I'd say it should be judged equivalent to Visa or greater. But to be conservative, we should probably judge a future IPO as an average of the above list minus a specific percentage. The math, the average of all the mentioned IPOs is $9 billion. Let's assume that Ripple will conservatively pull in half of that number at capital, $4.7 billion. So roughly $5 billion cash. That's a lot of cash. And this amount purposely excludes the market value that would be related to the value of XRP that Ripple holds. He purposely excluded that. I imagine that IPO marketers would attempt to include that in the price, but we will ignore it during our analysis. What could Ripple do with $5 billion? Well, for one thing, a massive influx of capital sometimes create unanticipated outcomes. Unexpected wealth could prompt some executives to retire or scale back their work. Usually, however, this influx of capital from IPO is used by the company to expand and achieve far greater levels of growth than they otherwise would, right? So this is a good. I'm not going to read all of this. So what would a post-IPO future look like for Ripple and XRP hodlers? Well, for starters, life will be more annoying for Ripple. The money and cash for IPO has strings attached. Okay, what about the XRP? A public company would be faced with same dilemmas that private Ripple is. However, one key difference is the level of financing and credit. A post-IPO company normally has access to a wide array of credit. So I think XRP programmatic sales would either decline or cease entirely. I think wholesale sales of XRP to banks and market makers will continue, however, because that involves directly growing the network of RippleNet. Member institutions that utilize XRP, selling XRP to these participants is not only expected but necessary. Programmatic sales are not. Next level marketing. I mean, this is just a great article. I'm not going to read all of it, but this is a great article. You definitely want to go check that out for sure. Check out Hodor. Let me change the view here. Very, very good article, right? Again, it just makes a lot of sense. And, listen, we have a channel. Other people have channels. People hop on Twitter, whatever. I think it's a great thing. I think that, again, I said it in my stream the other day. The Ripple, the company, has employees that are no different than you and I in terms of the greatest asset, in my opinion, that they hold is XRP. We all want the value of XRP to be high, and I don't think Ripple's going to make moves that's going to negatively affect the price of XRP. Exactly. Imagine that. I like that. It says here, imagine Ripple being larger than Google, Apple, YouTube, and the New York Stock Exchange, says Staff Sergeant Marines. Perfect, stable, sharpie genius. That's exactly right. And that's the thing that we have to remember. In fact, I'm going to pull up Susie's quote. If you are an XRP holder, you are very early. You know what I mean? Ouch. I mean, in the end, that's the thing that we really, really have to get. Let me see if I can find where that is. Like, that's the thing that I think we really have to really, really, really get. Here's one quote I'm going to share with you guys from Susie. And she was on Twitter. Susie from Esoteric Trading Solutions. If you guys not have subscribed to her channel, you definitely want to subscribe to that channel. Definitely want to do that. And I'm a proud member of her Patreon. But where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Let me share this. She's replying to this person, and I believe that to be Crypto Eddie. Because it is, I wish I had the whole thing, but it says, because it is simple, more clients like millions and millions get to hear about this company. It puts them on the map. We are at 1995 in terms of the tech book, okay? If you know Susie, you know it's just her, right? Because that's how she talks. In 1999, techs went way up. Patience, for Christ's sakes. Then she says here, you are way too short term, man. Less than 1.2% in the world invest in crypto, full stop. And all they know is BTC. In 1995, no one knew about all these great tech companies. Facebook, Amazon, Google, Apple, Microsoft. Like Chris Larson said from Ripple, we are about at 1995 to the tech boom of 1999. There it is. What else? See if I get some more from Susie. But yeah, I guess that was the thing that was going on Twitter with her. I can probably go to her page. Let me see where she is on Twitter. But you know, I mean, that's just ultimately the truth. We are early. We are early to this game. Really, like, we're blessed. That's why I keep saying it all the time. We are. Is that at Susie Trader? Yeah, we are absolutely 100% blessed at Susie Trader. Okay, I'll remember that. And that's the thing we have to understand. She has so many good stuff there. That she pointed out, and it's so important to kind of get where she is. I think Staff Sergeant of the Marines. It was the I don't know it part, but I think I mean, they agreed on a lot of different things. Staff Sergeant Siege. So I read Crypto Eddie's response to someone YouTube comments regarding Susie's video. I'm heartbroken to report that it seems that Crypto Eddie seems salty about Susie's video. What am I missing? Okay. Got it. Adam W. Parker says Susie and Eddie got beef. LOL. I wouldn't be too concerned about it. Gotcha. Yeah, and they agreed on some different things for sure about the popularity of it would make the company, and that would obviously spill over into XRP. She actually commented on one of my videos. Crypto Eddie commented on one of my videos about there was different types of equities asset swaps. She said there was 3 different ones that there are. I just think. Cryptopolis very smart. Crypto Eddie's very smart. Susie from Esoteric Trading Solutions very, very smart. But I think she plays the most in that space in terms of equity asset swaps and the different avenues and different places that can go on with the IPO. I think she has played the most in that space. You know what I mean? And so That's what it feels like to me, that she's been in that space, and she said she has done asset swaps. And so, take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I didn't know about any beef they had amongst themselves. But I'll have to check that out and see what's up, Staff Sergeant. Eli's like, there's always drama between YouTube creators. I'm not even bothered by it anymore. I hear you, man. Siege, I agree with you, says Staff Sergeant. Right there you go. Yeah. So what's up, IPO family? XRP Cali Unit, what's up with you, my friend? What is going on with you? So what else did I want to share with you guys? That was just a really good article from Hodor on Coil. Really, really good. And I love them both. I enjoy listening to both of them. Both of them definitely do their thing. Definitely. They definitely do their things, right? Thomas says, I believe that Ripple, the company, will offer us don't know when some sort of exchange for our XRP. They will need as much as possible moving forward. Yeah, and Susie is she just said that that's something that they can possibly do. She called it an equity swap. IPO, get yourself $8-9 billion, do an equity swap and whatever it looks like, and whether it be 1-for-1 or whatever. But we don't know. We don't know. Oh yeah. So is that what it was? Yeah, and I think that oh, so here's the thing, right? So Adam W. Parker, think about this. Susie had called out Crypto Eddie for backing BitTrue and then no longer backing without informing her followers. Susie thinks BitTrue is a scam. Both ladies are a great resource and very smart. And Crypto Eddie did inform her followers. She did tell them that she was no longer going to be an ambassador. And she said that, the kind of the arrangement that they had, BitTrue and these ambassadors, that it had changed, and it was something that she was not good with. She wasn't good with it. You know, Susie, in her research, right? Because she said it on YouTube, and her research and her homework and her due diligence, she doesn't trust BitTrue and doesn't think that, I think basically she doesn't think that content creators should be promoting that exchange because it could lead to harm. But that's her personal opinion. You know what I mean? I tried out the Power Piggy on BitTrue. I don't like the, I don't like the fact that there's still so much kind of, lack of credibility. It hasn't been built up. They're still young, right? So Brad Kimes, he just said, Brad Kimes is like, yeah, I got all stuff going on. I'm no longer an ambassador, right? Who was it? Was it Solomon or was it, I forget the other guy who said, I'm done, right? So, yep. So I tried out the Power Piggy, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm going to try it with something that's not my main hold, try it out. They've been paying it every day. I've only had one major crypto, content creator say, look, from day one, I haven't been able to I'm having trouble putting my stuff on or having trouble taking my stuff off, so I think what Susie's point is again, she did some really deep dive into the exchange, but ultimately her point was, why risk the chances? Why take the risk when you don't have to? Right? When there's a Binance US, there's a Binance, there's a Coinbase, right? That's basically what she's saying. In a nutshell, she's like, why take the chance? And she may be, I can't speak for her, she may be uncomfortable with the fact that content creators became ambassadors for something that could possibly harm people. But again, I can't speak for her. But that's what it felt like when she was on just recently on CKJ's channel. That's what it felt like. She felt like that. She felt like that wasn't cool because the content creators are, again, like you said, I think it was either Win Mullet or Brian Benton. There's a measure of influence there, and so you got to be careful. Yeah, Nate B, I would too, bro. And I know that I put a very small amount to test it out. No different than when I was in a lending platform space. When I first got into digital assets, I was into those HYIPs big time. And when I say big time, I was in a lot of them, but I always tested a little amount, like $100 or less. That was for me, like $100 or less, $100 or less, $200 or less, right? Just no big amounts. Certainly nowhere near the the money that I put in a Bitcoin or VeChain or XRP, right? Nowhere near close. Just test them out, and that's what I did with Power Piggy. In the end, a couple $100. If it's there, it's cool. If it's not, cool. You know what I mean? That's what I did. Certainly not telling you guys to do that, but that's how I would test anything that's new. You got to go small and test it. Just see what's up. And in fact, I was going to take it off the other day and talk to Ms. Crypto C. She's like, "Oh, what's the okay? Nah, it's no big deal. If they, just keep it on there. If they pay it, if you're able to withdraw, cool. If you're not, cool. Not gonna sweat it without question. You know what I mean?" Eli has says, "Quick question. What? Let me see. At Crypto C's, quick questions to you. I noticed when you end your live stream video, I can't rewatch the live stream chat after the video is done. Do you block it? I do not. So it must be something in my live stream settings that I need to check or uncheck. But I don't block it. But thank you for pointing that out, man. I will look at that after the stream. Do you block it off after the stream is done? No, don't. But I will check that out. Thanks for pointing that out to me, friend. I did not know that. Because you're like me, too. When I watch other people's replays, I like to kind of check what's going on in the chat, too. Diesel Hound says, no evidence. I have what? Jeez, that went so bad. Oh, no evidence. I got over 50K Power Pick. Hey, there you go. And again, that's the truth, right? And so, Patrick Perrine, what's going on, my friend? Patrick Perrine, how are you, Crypto Siege? I'm outstanding, brother. How are you? TJ Jackson said, I agree. I abandoned BitTrue myself. Hey, I hear you, bro. I hear you. And I'm not going to say it's bad or good. I'm going to say I tested it with Power Piggy, but less, was less than $100 worth of a digital asset on there. Check it out. A BitTrue untrue could really. It's a real Rick G. What's going on, my dude? Let me check. Oh, it's so funny. The real Rick G said, a BitTrue untrue could really harm XRP. It is true. And I think, again, I'm not speaking for Susie. I think that's where she was. Hey, who knows? That they might end up surviving. But I think she's kind of going from her perspective and her background and understanding it's going to be challenging for exchanges going forward. This is an exchange that's out of China, I believe, not necessarily here housed in the good old US of A. So when there's a loss, there's no avenue for there's no avenues for being made whole other than from the exchange itself. Now, to BitTrue's point, or to BitTrue's to argue a point for BitTrue, there was a lot of kind of stuff that went on in the beginning, and it felt like most of those people were made whole. I don't know about all of them, but it felt like most of them were made whole. You know what I mean? So there's valid points on both sides. And I think what Susie was trying to kind of get across is why risk it when you don't have to. And it's funny too, because I believe the digital asset investors, like he's been pretty much the same way. Like, it's like I don't participate in anything where you can kind of get some interest and although I think he is strongly considering Celsius. But I think Celsius, right? That's in the US of A, right? Isn't that out of New York? It's a different kind of thing. Certainly different than Alex has kind of been doing his thing for a while now. Right? Curious just kind of stepped into the scene. We don't really know who that dude is, So, and I think that's what Susie was trying to kind of get across. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where it is for me, right? Yeah, William Miller says Bittrex is a good one. Yeah, I'm on a bunch of them. I like the USA ones. You know what I mean? I like the USA ones. I got some disappointing news from Genesis Trading. I was not happy with that. I think I did something wrong in the thing there. You know how you ultimately get to it, and they're like, you got to tell them why they should take you on as a client, and I screwed that up. I screwed it up. I don't think I gave it enough attention, but I know how to give it more attention now, so I will do it. The real Rick G says, "Siege, wish I could send you a whiff of my boss soup. I want to hear you laugh. Your laugh is the best in the XRP community." Oh, bro. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you being here tonight, man. So, I mean, that's in the end, that's what it is, right? So let me see what's up. Oh man, it's been over an hour. I wanted to share something on Twitter. Was it on Twitter? Let me see. Was it on Twitter? So yeah, so here's a very interesting one. I'm gonna share this, and this is kind of a little thing with Crypto Eddie and I think Sam I am. You guys all probably saw this. I've given some thought to Sam's tweet. Make sure you guys can see this first before I start reading. There it is. I've given some thought to Sam's tweet. Ripple is in the position to negotiate its terms for XRP holders to participate in the IPO. That's from Crypto Eddie. Same thing Susie said, as a matter of fact. I'm an idealist inside a realist mind, always imagining the impossible. Ripple, please surprise us. Yes, Ripple, please surprise us. And this is response to Sam I am. This is nothing but a wealth transfer mechanism, and I find it utterly disgusting. Interesting. There's zero reason for Ripple to become a publicly traded company. This is my first time reading this. They don't need the funds. I expected more from these guys. Doesn't it feel personal? Just feels personal to me. That is a bit silly, says to Sam I am. Ripple, this is Crypto Eddie responding. That's a bit silly. Ripple has every reason in the world to do an IPO. Doing this will give them worldwide scale and scale including XRP. Sorry, you have no idea. This gives them more money, credibility, marketing, clients, assurance, compliance investors, leading to ultimately buying anything. There it is. From the awesome Crypto Eddie. From the awesome Crypto Eddie. Bank XRP, shout out to Bank XRP. I thought this was old. Universal Postal Union, use case 1, low cost, instantaneous inward remittance. A pilot by Ripple, a fintech company facilitating cross-border remittances from the United States to Mexico. Reduced foreign currency exchange cost by 40 to 70%. Shout out to Bank XRP. How about that? XRP Yoda shared another thing from Bank XRP. HSBC, what are the most compelling use cases for DLT in the capital markets? For example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides real-time cross-border settlements using tokens that represent central bank currencies in foreign exchange. And it says here, DLT can streamline end-to-end value transfers, reducing costs, operational risk, and settlement periods. For example, Ripple's XRP ledger provides real-time cross-border settlement using tokens that represent central bank currencies. In foreign exchange, HSBC's FX Everywhere tool processed more than 3 million intercompany FX transactions worth $250 billion in its first year. In the end, as I always like to say, guys, it sounds like Cryptopolis is starting a YouTube channel. Guys, make sure you check out Cryptopolis. That's another smart, really smart dude. Really smart dude. Right? So let me catch up on some of these things here, guys, and I'm going to wrap this stream up. Yeah, I agree with you, Eli. What is his reasoning that is a wealth transfer? He may need to break down more of his thoughts so it can be scrutinized by critics. The real Rick G, do I need a virus checker if I get a VPN? I don't know if you need one, but I would always have a malware, some type of malware protection thing, definitely without question. Oh, TJ Jackson said, yes, I've subscribed today. So Cryptopolis is going to get a channel. How about that? That's going to be some good stuff right there. But I would definitely get one without question. Anytime you're going to be online, my friend, you want to get that malware software, and definitely a VPN. I will not operate without one. Definitely will not operate without one. NordVPN is a good one. Ghost is a good one. Proton actually has a VPN as well. Brian Benton, there you go. Rick, the real Rick G, says Avast is free but offers premium service and a VPN. Yeah, so you definitely want to get one without question, man. Without question, you guys want to get it. So in the end, guys, we all know this, and this is what I would just look, or IPO, STO, PPO, right? In the end, we hold the greatest digital asset ever created. You can't take it away. In the end, it is the liquidity provider. It is the ultimate in-game solution, right? We want to be a solutions provider, and that's what Ripple is, right? XRP in the end is going to help stave off and free up, whatever you want to call it, the global economic crisis, and that is illiquidity. That's where XRP stands. And I believe personally, Ripple, the company, knows and wants to do everything possible to raise the value of XRP. And I believe, just like Bob Way, the other employees, and even people invested in Ripple believe that the greatest holding is going to be in XRP, the digital asset. Just like Ken Curson, an early investor in Ripple, the company, also admitted to owning XRP purchasing it for less than half a cent. And just because the people like Greg Kidd or Glenn Hutchins who are early investors, don't say that they own XRP doesn't mean that they don't. In the end, XRP is the champ. The champ is here, guys, and we can never, ever forget it. Our time is coming. Trust me when I tell you that. Trust me when I tell you that. One of my favorite quotes, one of my things that I've seen one time online that I just love, when it was kind of a back and forth between a person and the creator, and the person was talking to the creator and saying, God, they don't understand. They're missing. I don't get it. They're sleeping on me. And the creator said, don't worry about it. I have set the alarm clock. I have set the alarm clock, and your time is coming. And I believe that for each and every one of us that are early adopters in this digital asset space, your time is coming. And I believe that for every one of us that are XRP hodlers, our time is coming without question. So guys, listen, I'm going to end this stream like I do all my streams and remind you of this. That old money doesn't want you to win. They don't want us to win. They would rather us remain a cog in their perpetual wheel of trading our time for dollars. They don't want us to play in the same playground that they play in, rather, where we allow our money to work for us. This is our chance to win, guys. The digital asset space is our chance to win. We are in the midst of the greatest transfer of wealth in the history of man. Are you participating? Or are you standing on the sidelines? Here's what I do know. That the battle for you has already been fought. And the victory is yours. Go get it. I'll talk to you soon, guys. See ya.